emu enyume no sia abo ebraso se esama hodo ayesa ka na mejebre na mede esomo se enyume no sia ka se ebo wo TV Ghana's #1 eso ka se ka se ebo no yes to me live on Facebook and so at my CTV GHO follower na wala ka fensi we pia share no so e de ama obi na ono so enye bi ahwe esama hodo a mede esomo no ye hwe ne a e be di akotene e wo ka se ebo no emu ebi Defense Minister Ede Atudwa na sempo no wa kire de nti a eye abato ye koso e wa Ablekuma North en person so wono mo no aban no amfa asrafo ankoho no mo Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association ededei womo eden semchofo hiemu ahyehe so na ensamben e na woka ye e won hyemdei ase kase boymo ye de ebesomo abeto dwa se na ino woko amaya hodo so ebi etise Cote d'Ivoire hodomo a na chese koko buo no womo atumu e de akosoro na so no wo mai Ghana ebo no se de woton dada na ansa no e na eda so e honam so ama eye no ahye bojafo binum akasa e de afa ya womo ebisa ko san Wakasie boy mono yedo ebeko enkrofo kro ene enkrofo amai so na etwegu hon so no ye de asomo ensem no ebika we hu ena mede esomo se enwume no sia kase ebo wo CTV Ghana's #1 eso manye no working ene medin mema wajo say afi say ena ensem no emu enchemu no etie ena dey ena ye to abani biom ewo Ablekuma North en person so won ya we no eye parliamentary elections na abato electoral commission echiremu a wo eto ewo police stations mako edu enkro 19 na amanebo ya beto dwa echire se wo eye St Peter's Methodist Church ya ho so no eye police station bako ye no ewo Ablekuma North ono mo no na chire se basabasa yo kakra ema no so nam so ama eye parliamentary candidate ama NPP amanyoko no nana ekua efriye dipa binum ede wo monsa ekeka no enye wono nko a woni wonyamfo hawa kum senso no ya de asa dipa bi ede wo monsa ekeka no na no mo e na adehye ni bi ebusa kosa ede afa ho etre sa denti e na aban no amfa asrafo anko ama womo ankopo ban e wo abato no ase wonam so ama eye defense minister eye Dr. Edward Omanebo ama abekasa ede afa ho atwede ntia aban no amfa asrafo anko abato no ase.
This is a civil exercise. We are not at war, and so we should not get the military involved. And as we've seen around, it's been the police, the Ghana Immigration Service, the prison service. They fall under the Ministry of Interior, and we believe that that is the way to go. What we experienced in Ayawaso West Wargon should not be repeated. So you don't regret what we experienced in the year 2020, where 8 Ghanaians were killed just because of elections, should not be repeated. And this is the way to go. And this is what President Mahama wants. It should be a peaceful exercise, and people must just exercise their franchise. We should note at all times that it is not the entire constituency that is voting. It's only 19 polling stations. And because of the clustering system, you may have different polling stations voting at a particular location. It doesn't mean yours is part of the 19 polling stations that are voting today.
The police were helpless at the time these well-built macho men stormed here. Based on order and suit, do you still stand by your decision not to deploy military persons? 2024 December, pink sheets were bent here. Do you still stand by your decision?
I don't think you are being fair to the police when you say the police were helpless.
They were.
The police are a very professional institution. When you don't see them reacting with force, it doesn't mean they are helpless. This is where you may go wrong. Just lowering the threshold to invite the military. If it becomes abundantly clear that the military should restore order in any part of the country, the military will do it. But the military should not be the first point of call. We have seen it in this country, where the military was able to storm the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Is that what we want? Is that the democracy that we want? But this cannot be the
were running away.
This cannot be the democracy under President Mahama. President Mahama is different from President Kufuor. You understand? So let us give the police the maximum cooperation. Is the reason I'm here jointly with my brother and colleague, Minister for the Interior, to observe things for ourselves. Let's give the police the maximum cooperation.
What's your assessment of the process so far, particularly here?
All the polling stations that we've been to so far, I would say so far so good. Any challenges will be addressed by the Ghana police.
This particular
I'm saying that any challenges will be addressed by the Ghana Police Service, and trust that they will do it. They are capable. Thank you.
So you just heard some.
Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association aye nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ nhyiamu na wɔkandini Hema Ekoyi ɛde atodwa ɛkyerɛ sɛ wafempim mienu ɛne edunanim no na kyerɛ sɛ agreement ya wɔne sapen no aban no ɛkɔɔyɛ ya wɔde wɔn nsa ɛhyɛ ntiase apamaseɛ no nkama yɛ sɛ aban no ɛmpɛsɛ wɔbɛyɛ ɛde ɛma wɔn wɔkyerɛ mu a ɔsoafoɔ ya wɔhwɛ apɔmuden SMS no ɛde bɛtu dwa ɛkyerɛ sɛ nneɛma ahodoɔ ya wɔn ɛde ato aban no anim no ne aban no ebetumi aye wo ho pɛ eye wo mo ebuku ene recess allowance face uniform na sentade a wo ebehye no eno na obetumi aye a wo kyese no aban no ese wo de ebeka eye media budget no eho.
I'm invited here today for us to give you an update in terms of the meeting we held with our employer at the Parliament House yesterday. So I'll go ahead to read the statement. Following the unilateral rescheduling of the meeting with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health by the employer from 26th June 2025 to 10th July 2025, the meeting finally came off at the Parliament House at 2 p.m. on 10th July 2025. The parties present were the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and the host, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. In the said meeting, it was clearly communicated by the Honorable Minister of Health that the government's position on our demands is to capture only the book and research allowance and the uniform allowance in the mid-year budgets. The association's position communicated in the meeting was that it was highly unacceptable and buttresses our long-standing assertion that our employer does not place premium on our welfare as nurses and midwives in Ghana. We therefore strongly urge the employer to reconsider its position and include the two other items communicated as priority items from the association in the mid-year budget. We wish to put on record that we are here we are because someone chose to forget the collective agreement of nurses and midwives of Ghana during the transition from the previous government to the current government, and therefore it was never up for discussion. We are here we are because someone chose not to include the cost of our collective agreement in the national budget read on 11th March 2025, despite the repeated assurances given to the leadership of the association that it was being worked on. More importantly, we are here we are because a session of our own colleagues chose to engage in unnecessary litigation at the expense of the welfare of the close to 125,000 nurses and midwives in Ghana. The National Council of the Association, at its emergency meeting held on 10 July 2025, deliberated extensively on the recent developments and wishes to state as follows. 1. The reasons for the non-inclusion of the 8% non-basic allowance and the fuel allowance in the mid-year budget are untenable, and therefore the leadership of the association will avail itself for the meeting scheduled for Tuesday, 15 July 2025 by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to discuss these further and push for their inclusion in the mid-year budget. 2. On all the other items spelled out in the Appendix B of our collective agreement, we wish to reiterate our position that they must be captured as part of the national budget for the year 2026, which will be read in Parliament in November 2025. 3. Our subsequent actions as an association will be greatly premised on the outcome of the meeting to be held with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission on 15 July 2025, and therefore call for the commitment and good faith in the engagement, because we shall advise ourselves should the engagement fail to address our concerns.
Abeto dwa se nipa ho dwedie adoso pa e wo man no emu na se beye na ababofo ebenya nimdie ede afa nipa ho dwedie eho na wasanso ho kwa befa so na wode ayesa asem no mahwemu nti na beto dwa se eye Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection wa mo ede na mienu esi ho ya wode ababofo ni bi no efa entitie mu na dwumade ekoso e wo enkrampopuni mantem he ya.
Jumadi ede bambo ejina tuko adwumayefo bekyerɛ aposifo immigration adwumayefo ene wɔnom eka ho nyinaa ehia mu faako ema ɔyɛ nteteyɛ ɛkyerɛ wɔnom wɔmu adwumadie mu no kwan a ɔbɛfa soɔ na watumi atu nipa adwadie ɛho nsɛm human trafficking nkwada nipa bi ɛfa wɔnom kwatikwa so de wɔnom so ɛkɔyɛ nkruntu dwuma etietie wɔfa ahodie ho so nsɛm no na ɛno ne dwumadie no botaye na fuamienu a wɔyisi hɔ didi sɛ adwumaye na ba pani a wono ena eda Human Trafficking Secretariat ano abena anobia asari wono ejina oswafo a woda atenaye anaso ya ehye mema enkwada ye die wonsam so Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection Dr. Agnes Namumulata dem kasama ano no eche sesa anamotuyi anasese dwumadie eyade a eha adwen pa sabre ye nibia bai na nipa bitimi fa kwatikwa so na wodi nipa kwankwaso mu wa bra empepi no kwano ya na wonu mabusuafo ananipa dodo na ehwe ehwe ha ma ne koso na wose eye ohia ahokyere ne ntokwa na ya eta ede sa wo hawi eba ana ema nipa no bie ekowie mu se ya ton no ana se wode nipa bi afa kwatikwa so ede ne kwa akoye nkruntu dwuma.
Enforcement plays a pivotal role on the front lines. Therefore, this training is designed to equip officers with the tools, knowledge, and also all the sensitivities that you may require to identify trafficking victims, disrupt criminal networks, and uphold the rights and dignity of victims. It fosters collaboration between the police, immigration officers, social services, and also our development partners. The Human Trafficking Secretariat under the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, per the National Plan of Action on the Elimination of Human Trafficking in Ghana, under prosecution, Objective 1, Strategy 1 mandates the Secretariat to ensure that all law enforcement agencies have the capacity to appropriately deal with human trafficking cases. And so you have to bear with me. Even if we can't train all, most of you have to be ambassadors for us, and you have to train your colleagues. Whatever we learn here, please pass the information on, whilst the media also report for others to hear about the issues of trafficking. To achieve this, the ministry over the years has built capacities, as I alluded on earlier. Some other institutions that have benefited from the capacity building included 120 judges from the circuit and magistrate courts, 80 social workers, We have also 120 Department of Cooperative officers in cocoa growing areas, 400 refugees, 140 civil aviation officers, 52 tourism stakeholders, apart from the total number of law enforcement officers like we mentioned. These trainings have given officers a deeper understanding of how to deal with cases of human trafficking.
Detective Chief Inspector Florence Okansia, Wanundi ni Juma Wager Division, Wani CTV Kasia Kasai Mochre se wenye dwumadi animu emfa so pa ebeboa no na dwuma yimu.
Today has been impactful. Yeah, we've heard of human trafficking a lot. That was on the surface, but today I've learned a lot, and that will help me in the execution of my duty as a detective. Yeah, we heard of children, even mothers are being exploited through human trafficking. Yes, so when we see it coming, now I can detect whether it's a human trafficking or not, and it will enhance my work.
Oswafo wo hye enuane ene ekwayo SMS wo no munyafo erikopoku na wobo amane se aban no ede nhyepa egu akwemu ede ama entoaso schools ahodo wo kyeremu a yade se aban no ehwe ni mo se ne manibu ya no entoaso schools ahodo ye wo mai gana mo no wo mo ebeye efuo kakra ye no ebeye suku no efuo a ebetumi ama wo mo aduane ewo school ho no mo kyeremu a we no ebetumi aboa ama ekwayo ho nsem no etumi akonani mo na dosenfo no so ehunu fasode a ewo ekwayo hu.
Tashi bebo ya nsem wo mai gana mu na aboa ama enuane eho nsem a empempi no ya na eho asem enkoyie ewo yento asosuku ahodo no so no etumi aso ano na wosoafo yi ekire se we so ebeboa ama na hya desuafo nkrai na won mahu se kua eye adwuma obetumi afa se dachi bi adwuma esi wani so a wopese woye na wosoafo yi nsem nyina atudwa ewo Ghana mra hye bedwafia na wo kire se schools ahodo no so no a wode wo ho ebehye sa kua yi mu no eno so betumi aboa ama wonuane emu nsem no atumi atumpon pa aduane no dodo bekoso aduane no so no ne papa mu no nina so emu ebepeja.
The school farming is very important to us for two major reasons. One, when you go to our secondary schools and you see some of the students in breach of school rules, they are assigned portions of the school land to weed as a form of punishment. This has created the erroneous impression among students that weeding is a form of punishment. But it is a profession that sustains livelihoods, and we think that we must work to ensure that we put this into our upcoming generation. And so what we want them to do is to take advantage of the rich soil around them to have school farms, produce to support school feeding. Because sometimes you hear in the news that this secondary school, they are not getting food, they are crying, they are doing this. We think that if we are able to mobilize them to participate in this process, they can produce a lot to support their own feeding. And so it is not meant for export. We want them to produce the vegetables, the small things that they can do to support whatever government offers, to ensure that we improve the food qualitatively and quantitatively.
And you may not see a cassia ball and when you go so I will share it with CTV Ghana's #1 son of follow ye our Facebook and so at my CTV GH like here. I will share so Ediama will be now or not so any be after and some so na anymore and send for emu. Now my Ghana mono ye will quite pay a fast war it to me edit two from a good day. Way Abeka will be a mistake with the Sahodwa. One more water or not mentioning more come one jar to more say no and ya say one more ebe to galam say be the same no kwan papa e fa so ya edit for agudie na no so e na wo so e benam e de eto for agudie e wo e yata no not mensi no emo na stakeholders meeting na nansa nhemle na koso e wo do ya kwanta na eye akonohene e ma do ya kwanta traditional area eye nana kokrokodi ewuo wode to dwa eche sanya de se wo betena ho na galam say akoso e okro no so biom.
Empanifo kyerɛ sɛ brɛ kakra ni nipa dodoɔ no na ɛba mɛnsini ni mu aba bɛpɛ FM agudie na ɛso so wodwumadie no ɛnyadeɛ sɛ ɛfa mmrakwan soɔ na ɛno no ɛyɛ FM agudie a otunu kwambɔne so ɛsɛ wɔn nsa aseɛ nti no nhyiamudie a wɔnom ɛyɛ no mpanifo ahodoɔ no akasa ɛti a wɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔmma obiara kwan ɛma no ɛmɛyɛ ne bɔnefo sɛm a ɛte saa ɛkɔ na hene wɔ dua yɛ nkwanta traditional area na kokroko di ewuo mu wodwumadie na se bi ɛkasa yɛ say FM agudie so ma for person otu no kwampa so de a eno de wobɛboa sanse bɛboa kro no ene wo mamu ni nyina na emmumu de ɛbɛsɛ won sanse de obɛfa kwan bia so na wɔnom asia no
na ti ma ko so di pa do na so so e say entu so so de ba e ya de ai ha because they say kola no kra no mo do mo wura mo na do ba bi nya mpa ko ana che ko awere nti nanano de yɛmpene galamsey no so na aban hyehyɛ yɛ aban yɛ sɛ responsible mine ne de aban de policy ba so adom mo tukɔ ɛhu sɛ ɛno bɛtumi aboa na yɛsoso yɛahwɛ na yɛagya ho dwuma ama so de aba nti galamsey no de a respectfully sɛ abɛgu no wei ne de ɛka sɛ yɛne gye ho a ne yɛboa yɛanama obi a nanano bɛto atia galamsey deɛ yɛbɛyɛ na afei aban ne policy asɛ yɛ community mine and as a responsible mind, the video na aban so be ka kire na nanom ye mitwi ni se ka ye mi agyan na babo so abo mo ban se bi aban se na ko ye ma mo a antima tramo enyo mo sa no dia na be mind mo ajo na ko ne bi no
President awada Techre Youth Association ano eye Richard Yeboa ono so ni CTV nsem twefo kasa ye e ma no e kire se galamsey no essay o mine dache enti no wo mo so be o mafamu die bia se wo makwan ema ne bonisem no enkoso
manpa aye be fa so aye be mine eni galamsey die enya ade ese so but the beboa aye responsible mine na yɛde nhyehyɛ ebugu kwan mu mebu ebenye adwuma ayɛ deɛ tax ɛsɛ ɛkɔ assembly ɛbɛkɔ national nso ɛbɛkɔ na modalities a ɔmode bɛyɛ a safety ho akonya ɛbɛbɛ mu a obi ankopra na itimaboa asama reform dufo ɛne na yɛhwɛ sɛ yɛde nneɛma gu akwan mu a yɛmɛbu ɔmo no ndubɔne ɔmbɛgyae saa ndubɔne no because onim sɛ yɛyɛ responsible mine a nhyehyɛeɛ wɔ hɔ a sɛ wonom saa ndubɔne no bi a wontumi mma hɔ nyɛ akonya ɛmbɛyɛ sɛ nti ɔmo nyinaa ɔmbɛsesa na aboa na ɛbɛburo no anyɛ na ɔmo nso kakakra bɔ notom na ɔmanya bi ɛde ahwɛ ɔmo
Mercy Krachia wadata no north Mercy bedwana ano Pius Opoku eso de nsem no bi taato ema wo kire se wadasoa eye Mercy Krachia no de obey na afamu de bia se wo yi a wo pese otu fam agudie no age se wanya tumi krata license a eno so wo de kwakoye adwuma no ne kwan paso enya sade a wo ma ho kwan kra na galamsey no wo mfanse wo nsase e wo mpatam ho
office heya ani pa bebre aba ye permit akoye prospecting ye permit akoye prospecting eno na me mpanfo tena sese da bi ye nhwe ma saade no enkoso ewo eye potamu a na mum se aban de hihia ba se eye responsible mining ewo hodia ene ne mpanfo nyina ehia ne yemfa dwen ne yem kwam papa fa so a yegitimi atu eye sika popo na eye responsible and the responsible ne say who company a obeba a obefa hyehyɛ a eye aban no asset ato ho obekɔ minerals commission EPA for obeba lands commission for na assembly no so eju tumu dia ne yɛ sɛ sa permit no on saka na oba say obetu sika kokɔ ndia ubia o be kata mnana watu nso
Free Tano North Mensino emu na yenkoko ye no ewo kwa West Mensino emu na kasebokro ya so ene de betumbu ni mo se kwa West Municipal Assembly no ene ahemfa wo ewo nkoko ene poto maka wo hwabo mo bo amane se papu bi ewo nkoko ya ye friend no Bobo Shanti papu wo chese papu yi eye biaye bia wo ma wo mo ene ho basa ensem fata wama wamo eno mojoto wama wamo no mu bone ne ade ne hono mo ena mpempe ne wamo ekonam so ama ne basa ena ekoso wo nkoko ene ne importem ne senti no wamo echese wamo ebedwuri biaye no edi egu yakasai no epenifo yi edi ose ayoya yakasai no wamo edwuri Bobo Shanti papi edi egu na mesine krache ema kwa West mensi no eye woni monyamfo Tamimu Halidu wode atodwa chirese papi ya wamo edwuri egu no wode sa biaye hono mo no ebe ya car park edi ama mensini no
abanka chepenyi ya wo West mensini mu ene won nananamati na nkonya wo mu onkoko aka abomu na ensano bia ba kon wo West mensini ho Bobo Shanti pap eno na mpanyifo ya aka abumako dwuri sa bia ye we ede afri ho no mu na enchomu echese sa bia ye se ba ne bonefo sama hodro entokwasem ene meburu ya wo mo fendro bone nom ede asai wo mo hia wontimi enkan enyi fisa Bobo Shanti pap yi enfri mu eno na mpanyifo abomo modwuri ede afri ho no mu se omo mabunu elebe sa ede ene komo de baby papa bi e de amakwa West Mensini no na no na banka chepenyi a wo ho eye onyanfo Tamimu Halidu odi tudwa chese sabe ye omudwiri e ade mo de be park ahyen egwom chese car park ahyen awodo na hono be park na netimi aboa kuro no mpo onyanfo Tamimu Halidu ni nsembe de tudwa bi eni
ana security wise no ehun se enne ye be ma sa sport awa ana se ne wani tua no temporary structure ana so fa emra kwaso nti musek ehia ye no ye famra kwaso form a on ye mom letter eso munyom niema for emergency and temporary solution there esi ye omu free ho na omo aka no se amom letter senior engineer e kan ye no with time assessment time no ye be bani abe develop wa on be adwen eniema asisi enene na hotwe me se abofra ba konso ehwere ne nkwa efi se ye establish sa sport we o kan ba ko a enkwa enwotwe ene ya hwere no ha ye ntime trans e ma ne nkoso ente ye menu mienu bambo entina ene yetu anamo atise
eno echi onyanfo Tamimu Halidu kasa no sign it to say enkofo bi omote bensa Bobo Shanti pab yi wo mo bosumi ensia wo bomode na omuntu enfi onu se na be ya ometimi nya biaye no na mo de sa aka park yi omo kan yi eno echi nso sign de futuo ekoma mabru ne se wo mo ntwe wo mo ho mfisa enubone ho nsem a ekoso ewo ho no mo sei no sign ede to aso
yentimi mu bia ma abiem no kwane me ka kire yentimi mu bia ma se na be ya ye benya ya so mudwie mbenifo se wanya bibia ma wase a yensa mbone kro no dache achirima ede ne die jawom kwa West munye bibia ma na ma be this death trap ana crime scene sport be bre won kokko ade ne enko ba we hu yentimi ntranti nsentronfo momo mani nsie ya momo hu dawru enche omo a yenua no se momo ma abiem yenua no momo ma abiem na omo ma nkokko police for juma papa potimi say adwuma omobo fisa asem bai omo ye nipa eya say ye ntimi nya bibia ye bete omase o ye police ni we a mache be for commander begina so adwuma bebru ba bi temomwa na adwuma no nyamre ema nkokọ man
dwedie ene sikasem kase ebo ena edrus wono yembongra dwedie ene sikasem kase ebo emwem na enei no woko Cote d'Ivoire ene eman enkae no so a na atwese kokobo no wom atomu ede akwa animu kakra na so bepiem e my god emu ebo no eda so a egina biagina wenam so ama tema central mra hyebedwani wonmonyamfo Charles Forsen ebisa wo so afo ya wo hwe enuane ene ekwayo ensem kosan esedenti ene nei no Ghana kokobo no eda so a egina ne egina
we akwa fanchi wa show ababeto dom kese ne dom kuma no ntemo ewo Ghana mra hyebedwafie tema central abato mpesua so mra hyebedwani Charles Forsen ebusa oswafo a wono hwe kwia wonsam so sentia sa anamotuo ye Cocoa Board no A2 na ranking member a Greek committee Vincent Opansamwa esu eyi ano mpona na wo kire se dom kuma no ensem a wo ka no enyade se adwen papa etechire ntika wa musansam no kwankeye na Vincent Opansamwa etire se ehyehyeye we no beboa Ghana ekoko hu dwumadie pa na atumi aboa eka ahodo ene ekwati kwamanfo efa so edi gold ni fi wo man mu no se wo pese osi ano na otumi emma Cocoa Board ni dwumadie ekonkan eka ahodo nso a emene wo mu nyina no otumi etoto no enunti ena sabe wo tu sa anamoyi.
The fact of the matter is that we know usually cocoa the main crop usually start in September, October, thereabout. That have been the history. Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, we are neighbors. So anytime the producer price of cocoa in Cote d'Ivoire is higher than Ghana, we all know the implication. Smuggle, yeah. So usually you need to have your intelligence working very, very well by monitoring the prices over there before you even come in with the price here. I remember very well during the Toponi's time. Usually they have their own mechanism of monitoring the price across the border because they come out with producer price in Ghana. To say that Cote d'Ivoire they've already announced the price of their cocoa, so Ghana should have also had the same. We are almost ending the light crop, and we are about to start the main crop. So once you have not started, how do you announce a new producer price of cocoa? Definitely there's going to be a new producer price of cocoa, but you have to also look beyond your borders. At least we border Cote d'Ivoire, we border Togo and Burkina, and they all have interest in cocoa. We know Ghana cocoa is premium, so all the neighboring countries would like to have some quantity of Ghana cocoa so that they can get good prices elsewhere.
Amahodo so ensem ena edruso no. Yenkowie kase bono ewo nkrofo kro ene nkrofo aman eso na beye efie bebrenie ena America fo etumi atai eye HIV AC dwumedi ahodo ekire echitai pa ya wo mo edi enura ahodo etumi ede eboa we aka ho bie ama sei no wo kyerese nipa wo mo ewo AC ade bie no dodo na ena wo mo etumi atena ase achepa na beye bosomi ensie nie ena US man no ebebo amania se emoya wo mo ede ko sanyo na ahodo mo no ya desa wo mo etwen ede asense wenam so ama UN ebo amani anasempo wo mo ebo kokko se sika hodo a US for ede ebo sa dwumadie no wo mo antoa so amfa moade a ene ebedu afimpimienu ene eduenu enkono mudie na nipa wo mo ewo Asia wo mewuo no beye 4 million.
We also see that the impact of this disruption, that the disruption itself is not just financial. We also see that there is a backlash against rights, laws, policies that create that enabling environment for people to come forward and get life-saving services.
It's really impacting us negatively because now we need to bring those people that interrupted treatment a long time ago based on different reasons. We need to bring them back to care. But now the question is, how do we reach them? Because some of them, they give us wrong addresses. We can't go to them. We need to teletrace them. But also, their resources, they are very limited.
Eha ena mede enwumenu asia kase bono ebesika ise kase bono yes to me live or Facebook and so at my CTVGH follower na wale ka Facebook pia share ne so e de ama obi na wono so enya bi ahwe wo tele fia share medase ma mo share e wo Facebook beda mo ase production team ni nyina beda mo ase manye no working any meeting macro